Okay, all right, well, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, welcome everybody. This is the first session that we're having for the system migration meeting. So we're going to be holding this every 2 weeks. My name is Greg Abernathy, and we've also got Matt Shore on the line, also from Georgia 811, so to talk to you about the migration and what's coming up. So first things up, a little bit of housekeeping. We are recording this call, and we'll have the recording posted on the website next week. We have a lot of people online today, so we are going to keep everyone muted to make sure everyone can hear us. But you should be able to chat questions or comments for us, and we'll take some breaks to check on them throughout the session. If you're listening in on the phone call only, we will have this recording, as I said, posted on the website. And you can also use the form on that website to submit questions to us. We'll be taking some breaks throughout this presentation. We shouldn't be using the full hour, but we'll be taking a few breaks to check on chat and make sure we address any questions or comments that come up there. And between these 2-week calls, any questions that you have, please use the website to submit those questions, and we will, if we need to, we'll get back to you right away. If there's a clarification we need, or if not, then we'll probably, if it's not a pressing issue, we'll add it into these meetings. So we're going to give you a little bit of a status update at each meeting, and then we'll go into questions and answering comments and stuff like that. Okay. So what is this all about? So Georgia 811 is switching from our existing system, Eden, to GeoCall. Same system is used by 12 other states and has a great track record. This gets us more modernized and on the path for future upgrades. The systems do have some differences, however, and that requires us to make some changes to the tickets that we send you and the methods we use to send them. So we want to keep you informed and make sure you have all the information you need. Who these meetings are for. So they're for members to review the new ticket formats, for members who write their own automation software, and for TMS providers to update their systems to receive tickets from us. So these are going to be pretty technical meetings going forward. So the purpose of these calls is to provide you with those detailed specifications so you can understand how the tickets are changing. We've also provided you some sample programming code to update any automated systems you have, or for your service provider to look at, to review, to get it set up to test with. We're also here to answer questions that come up from you or your service providers regarding how we deliver those tickets, and to handle any issues that comes up between now and our launch date. And we will be conducting these meetings, these calls, every 2 weeks. So you can sign up for these calls on the website as well. Okay, first thing, we will be launching in 90 days. That's June 4th. We do have more information on GeoCall coming up. So as I mentioned, these are going to be technical meetings because we need to get through this hurdle of being able to make sure that our members can receive the tickets we're going to be sending them coming June 4th. So, but more information is going to be coming out as we progress through the project. All right, checking on chat here. I don't see anything in chat so far. So we'll keep going.
Greg,
yeah,
can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
We got an email just a few minutes ago on the forum. I believe Mr. Tom Morton of MediaCom Communications, not to call him out, had a good question about will GeoCall tickets be automatically sent to the same web address. I didn't know if we were looking for that information right now, but that's a question that I just saw out there. So if you didn't have anything else.
Yeah, let me quickly go back to that. Yes, before we go on to that. Okay, so can they be sent to the same web address? This is a big difference between Eden and GeoCall in that Eden requires a SOAP-based web service and GeoCall supports RESTful web services. So it's a different way of setting up a web service, so that is going to have to change. Now, it would be best to set up a different URL so that we could be able to send tickets to you before that and test with you before we go live. But then if you wanted to, I mean, it's possible to switch that over. But SOAP-based web services and RESTful web services, they typically also have different URL patterns. So it's probably a better idea to set up a separate system to do this rather than to reuse the old URL. Okay, so we have a couple other chats. So will there be an app like Eden to check positive responses on tickets? So yeah, GeoCall has a web interface. Just like, well, I'm not going to say just like Eden, similarly to Eden. So you'll be able to log in to that web page and you'll be able to look at tickets and do your positive response there and respond to them right there. So can we increase the audio? So you cannot hear. Okay. So is this any better?
You sound clear to me, but
okay.
If anybody having trouble hearing, see if they can turn up their volume.
Yeah. If not, again, this. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. So we will continue on then. Okay. So we just released some information here on March 4th. So 2 days ago, on Wednesday, we sent out an email pointing back to the website, and we put a zip file containing a bunch of information out there for you. So let's go through what we put out there. So the first thing that I want you to be aware of is there is a folder in that zip file called documentation, and there are 2 documents in there.
Hey, Greg, are you doing anything on the screen?
I am.
Okay, I just see Georgia 811.
You just see Georgia 811.
Yep.
Okay, it looks like other people are saying that it is working for them. So it may just be on your side.
It's just me. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, it's not me, it's you. Okay. All right. So the documentation, there's two Word documents in there. One is called Georgia 811 Ticket and Delivery Information. That one is the big one. So that one has the ticket specifications. It shows you what the HTML-based email looks like. It shows you, gives you information on the XML tickets. There's also some documentation on there on the sample code that we've also provided. The second document that we have out there is called the GeoCall Bulk Positive Response Service. And that has information on how to use the bulk response API. Okay. There's also a folder out there called Ticket Samples. Let me make sure I say that correctly. Yes, Ticket Samples is the name of the folder. And in there is a sample XML file for each of the ticket types that you see here. The details of each of these ticket types is in that larger ticket and delivery document. So what the normal ticket is compared with the overhead. We also have a bunch of that information on the website as well that we published out there a little while ago, and we just updated here this past Wednesday. Okay. All right, so this is the big one. The GA811 demo is a Visual Studio solution that has 2 projects in it. The receiver.api, that is a project based on, this is all Microsoft stuff, so it's based on .NET Core 3.1, latest version. And that's a project to demonstrate how to write a RESTful web service to receive tickets. So this one, we created this to be able to receive those tickets, the ticket samples in that zip file. We describe in the documentation how you can use those to use a tool called Postman. you paste that into the body and send it into the receiver API here, and you can see how the whole thing works, including having it insert into a database. So the receiver API is sort of start to finish how you can write an API to receive tickets from us and have it right into a database. The bulk response console project, this is a demonstration of how to use the bulk response API. Remember, we have that document for you, and we have a sample project here. Please don't write your please don't write your bulk responses as a console application as we have done here. It's really designed to demonstrate how you have the objects to serialize and deserialize the XML so that you can send the responses and receive back from GeoCall a reply stating whether or not each of those responses is successful. So it's a really simple console application, but the bulk of it, the inner workings of it, is ready to go, where you can create responses, send them out, receive the replies from GeoCall. So as I said, it's a demonstration program to show you how to do that. Okay, responses. So we did have a comment before the meeting talking about responses, and we actually just updated that Word document in the zip file out there on the website to include this information. We have the complete list of responses too. So I wanted to clear up some confusion with that. Positive response codes are the same as they are currently in Eden. Those aren't changing, right? You'll respond with the same codes as you do now. GeoCall will use some system responses as well, however, for different purposes, such as additional requests. And these are the ones listed below. So you can see some things here related to large projects and some related to additional requests. Again, the documentation has just recently been updated. A little bit about this is also available on our website. So the same website where you signed up for, or you sent in questions, signed up for this this call, that information is there as well. Okay, checking on chat. Looks like we're good. Okay. We will continue on. All right, questions. We're going to go through some of the questions that we received and what those answers are. We received a lot of more general questions about GeoCall. So just got a question in chat. We're about to answer that in just a moment. So let's go ahead and start up through these. How will we update our mapping? So we will be launching with a tool for you to edit your service areas. And this is a web-based tool, so you'll be able to go to our website, log in, and edit your service areas. Okay. All right, this is a big one. Will this require certain browsers such as Internet Explorer, Google Chrome? No. GeoCall is compatible with the latest browsers like Chrome, Safari, Firefox, and Edge. We test extensively with Chrome, as it's the most used browser. I think it's at like 64%, 65% of usage on the internet globally is through Chrome. So we test for that one first. But we do some testing with some of these other browsers, and GeoCall works really well with each of them. Okay, will you still have to call 811 for all emergencies for gas systems? Yes, this is not changing. Yeah. Okay. How will the GeoCall mobile app be compared to Eden? Better. There will be one application for starters. You can see what it looks like. As I mentioned, there are 12 other states that use the system. So you can actually go out to the app stores and look at their apps. You can look at their descriptions. You can even download them if you like. Just remember, if you submit a ticket there, it's a real ticket. But you can see what those look like. So the way this works is GeoCall is a sort of a base system that then is customized for different centers. So ours will look very similar and have very similar features, but there will be some differences. So Yeah. All right. Okay. How will the maps and grids look now, and how will these change? The maps will be better. So we will have a better base map. There's going to be a satellite layer, Bing Maps layer, and we're going to have partial searches. Okay. Okay. During the migration to the new GeoCall system, will we still be able to use the old Eden system? Are we still going to be able to enter emergency locates online? All right, so I want to make sure, usually when we say the word migration, it's like a long, slow process. What's happening is we are designing the system now, and as we get closer, we're going to have more testing available for everybody and more training, but we're actually going to be doing a cutover on June 4th. So on June 3rd, up to June 3rd, you're still going to be using Eden, and we'll get the timing of when that's going to cut off and switch over to GeoCall later on. But the actual cutover is going to be on June 4th. So you'll still be using Eden up until that time. We will be importing a lot of the data from Eden into GeoCall. So things like tickets that are in flight are open. You'll still, if you need to update them, we'll still be able to do that. But not all the data is going to go directly into GeoCall, but we are going to be maintaining that data for 7 years, and we will certainly have access to it. And we'll have more details about this as we get closer. Emergency tickets, those will be available online for those who are authorized to submit them. So if you have that functionality now, you should have that in the future. Okay, so we got a lot of alerts on chat. So says USIC is receiving tickets from Texas 811. They are a GeoCall system, yes, to our REST web service. Will GA811 use the same software to send tickets to USIC via web? We kind of need to see the details of that. Our tickets are a little bit different, but GeoCall uses the same feature. So the body of the ticket is going to be different, but us posting that to you is going to be the same. So the method GeoCall uses to post it is identical. So if you've already got one set up using that, then yes. We might want to confirm that because Texas does a lot of their own development as well. So we want to make sure that that's similar. But for USIC, you can take a look at the demo code that we have out there and compare it with what you've got, and you should be able to see if it looks similar to what you've got. If it's compatible, great. But if not, we can talk to you more about that. Okay, what is the app called? What I did is I just went onto the App Store and I just actually searched for 811. You can also search for the developer name. The developer name is Progressive Partnering. If you search for that on the app stores, you'll get a whole list of the GeoCall apps. Okay, will there be a ticket text field with the combined information from the email just like Eden? Yes, and all that is in the documentation that we've provided. So that information is there, including the sample XMLs in the zip file. That is all there. Okay, so let's go back to the questions. How will the new system affect using iPads to receive the locate requests and respond to them? Can we send in tickets from an iPad? So if you are receiving emails from us, they'll look like other emails you receive on the iPad. GeoCall doesn't work great right now on an iPad. They're working on it. We're deploying with version 3. There's a lot of activity going on with the new version of GeoCall, however. And this is a kind of a big ask, right? The other centers are asking for it as well. So the new V4 portal, what they call it, that's on the website that you would be able to do this on. It's been in development for a while. We've seen some demos on it. and it is designed to be responsive, and so that will work better on an iPad, but we don't yet have an official release date on it. Okay. Checking on chat. Looks like we're good here.
Do you see the one from Jeffrey, or did
I
you just
do. Hang on just a second. So, okay.
Yep.
I will send you USIC's web URL so we can test. When Georgia 811 is ready to send test tickets to, when will Georgia 811 be ready to send test tickets to Arrest web service? Okay. That is a great question, because I did actually want to talk about this as well. We are going to be putting a test server out there for you. So as we were discussing the deployment of GeoCall at the last board meeting, it was made very clear that a test server is going to be critical to the success of for all of you. We are working on that. So we are going to have a test server specifically for you to test with. Our goal, or my goal, I should say, is actually to have that in the first week of April. So that coincides with some other things that we're working on as well, trying to make that available to you. So we're going to be working with our customer connections department in what we have to do to get ready to set up individuals to be ready to test with. But as we go forward, look around the beginning of April. And of course, we've got these calls here too, so we'll give you status updates on where we are with the test server and when we're ready to test, or set you up to test with that. Okay. Okay.
Feel free to type any questions in the conversation window.
Absolutely. Any other questions that you've got? Is there going to be a specific place to report bugs in the system? We don't really have there's not really like an integrated feedback system in GeoCall.
You can use the form, sort of.
Yeah, the form. Let's think about that, Matt, and let's come up with some ideas on. You can certainly use the form, the same website that you use to submit questions to us to report issues with that. But let's see if we can come up with something else as well. As soon as we launch the test system, there may be a better way for us to do that. So we will get back with you, and we'll share that information with you as soon as we have it. That's a great question. Okay. All right. Well, everybody, that's actually all I've got for right now. Thank you for joining, especially on a Friday afternoon. Hopefully this time works for all of you. You can sign up for the next one, for the next session now. You can also submit your questions on the website as well. If you've just called in and have questions, please use that.
Definitely have your technical folks check out that sample code for the people who receive XML tickets and stand up their own service for that, because they'll want to get into that, look at it. Just even make sure they just can compile it and do their developer stuff with it.
Yep. So that document has step-by-step instructions on how to take those solution files on a small developer machine and get it up and running so that you can use on one single system. You can have a receiver and you can send tickets to that receiver, and then you can look at it in the database. So that, like I said, start to finish on how to receive a ticket and then how to respond.
And if you're not a .NET shop, it should be, if you're a Java shop, most of them are either or. I guess there's other ones as well, but it should be pretty easy to port because it is RESTful. So you get the gist of it with our sample code, and then you can make it work in your system. But the good news is it's not so. Looks like we got another question.
Who is the best contact for Georgia 811 if my vendor needs more info on updating our ticket system? That's me. So you can actually email me. I was going to put my email address on there. I did not. So my email address is gabernathy@georgia811. My last name is Abernathy. It's Abernathy. Actually, that should be a pretty common name here in Georgia. I grew up a Navy brat, and so we traveled around a lot of different places that never heard Abernathy before, so I got butchered all over the place. Thanks, Matt. Okay, so I am the best person to contact about that, especially for those service providers that we need to deliver to. But for general questions, please use that web form. The questions that we receive in that web form actually go to a central box so that several of us can actually look at it and respond to.
And several of you might have the same question. So if we post it and we answer it on a meeting, then everyone, gets to hear it, even if it's technical, because I think eventually these are going to become more implementation specific.
Yeah. Okay. Last thing I do want to mention up, the sample code, as Matt mentioned, even if you're not a .NET shop, even if you're a Java shop, one of the great things about that sample code is that the objects exist in that sample code to deserialize some of that XML and serialize some of it. So that is a huge time saver, and you should, as Matt said, you should be able to take that and port it over pretty quickly. So please forward that on to your technical staff, your service providers, and point them back to the website and have them sign up for some of these calls. And we'll can't wait to hear from them.
Hey, Greg, can you put the link out there again? The link for the sample code. Just put it in the IM chat.
It's in there. I think Melissa put that link up there. That's to the landing page, and I'm sorry, Michelle put that out there. Thank you, Michelle.
You should be able to find it easily from there.
Yep, it's in the quick link section. Yep, up at the top right on that page, you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, we'd rather have it centrally located than emailing it out to people, because if we change it or update it, just for a quality reason, emailing it around, you're getting all kinds of version issues, and it just gets messy real quick.
Yep. Okay, that is all we have for today. So thank you all very much. I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
And we got another question. Is there any utilities that will have to do with our existing grids to merge them over? Jason, send me an email about that, because I got some questions about what you're asking.
You want to put your email address in there, Matt? Thank you. Awesome.
I just had to spell Georgia correctly. Sorry.
All right. Thank you, everybody.